Oh, it's wonderful. Hello, all you wonderful BabsCon peoples, all you peoples across the world who are posting funny gifs even as I message to you. So hello, I am the fandom weirdo known as Silver Quill. I do review videos and type words, many words, but today I have a special pleasure. Today, I get to talk to one of the creative minds behind the upcoming Generation 5 movie, which I believe is actually called My Little Pony, A New Generation.
Apparently, yeah.
So please welcome Leia Dabssi. I failed.
It's okay, no. Don't worry.
Leia Dabssi. Also known on the internet and loved for her artwork as Imalou. Okay, that one I did right.
Nice to meet you.
That one I did right.
Yeah, you did it right. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Do I
good
have
to have you
myself?
here.
You did present myself.
Yourself.
So yeah. Do I have to? Okay, yeah.
Well, actually.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm Imalou and Leia Dabssi, and you present me very well already. I'm responsible for these stupid little ponies that everybody loves.
Oh, I think people will love. We're looking forward to it. The hype is real, the discussion is real, and talent is very real.
Oh,
see that in a wealth of latest works. You've been a part of this fandom for a good while, being both an artist and now you've jumped to being a creator for characters.
Yeah, I've been in the fandom since March 2011. My first episode was the Zekwa one.
Oh yes, Bridal Gossip, and I believe from there you went back and just started the whole blessed thing.
Yes. And I did my first My Little Pony fan art in 2011 as well.
Yes, you marked that you could go through phases. There was a grimdark phase for a time.
Oh yeah. I used to love it a lot. I was a teenager, so typical teenager stuff.
I don't suppose there was ever the expression, it's not a phase.
Exactly. No, yeah, but that was a little bit of a phase, but I still kind of like it inside of me. There's a wolf who is liking it.
But as I recall, learning a little bit about your history, you got an art tablet at age 11.
Yeah,
and looking over your education career, it has been a straight shot towards the animation industry. It's like, I'm a little envious. You knew what you wanted to do right off the bat.
Actually, not that much, because at first I wanted to be a comic artist. When I was very young, I wanted to do comics, because in France, the comics are very popular. It's a popular genre, and I wanted to do that when I was a kid. And then when I got in the internet in the late 2000s, and I saw all the animations on YouTube, and I liked animations before, but I didn't know if I could make it in animation. For me, it was quite far away. I am very far away from California and Hollywood and Disney and the animation in France is a very close, and in Europe it's a very close industry. It's not very easy to get in this industry in Europe, and especially if you're an European and wanted to work in animation outside of Europe. So at first I didn't know if I wanted to do art as a job. And so I kept it as a hobby, but the years went on, and I was like, yeah, I love drawing, I love doing that, and I want to do that as a job, because nothing else really, nothing else talked to me as much as doing art and animation especially. And then through the years with My Little Pony, I really liked digital art and visual development, concept art, and I got really interested in this field. And so that's why in my teenagers years, in late teenagers years, I went in art school and did this path in animation. The thing is, something that helped me a lot was my family is quite like an artist family. So both my family, they really pushed me in doing art. So that's why I took this path.
See, and if I remember right, your art school was New 3D. Actually, I'm not even sure I'm going to pronounce this right. New 3D GE?
Yeah, that's actually New Age, but French schools are very swag and hip. So.
Oh no, you've gone leet speak on me.
Yeah, New Age is like new 3D general school, but New Age is very cool, so they say it New Age. It's a video game art school. They do animation as well. I went in a video game art school because I didn't know if I could enter in an animation school. Especially animation schools in France are very expensive to get. Like the most popular one is Gobelin, and it's very hard to enter Gobelin, and it's very expensive. There's also Émile Coll, who is quite expensive as well. There's not that much animation schools, and they are very, very expensive and hard to get in. So I went to a video game art school and learned concept art there. I learned a bit of 3D. When I got my first job, I left. I'm not a school guy. I'm not a school person. I don't really like school. So I left when I got my first job.
Well, hey, day on the job is the best education.
Yeah,
you learn by doing.
Actually, yeah, I did learn a lot in my professional years, more than in school.
Now, you mentioned that being far removed from California and the animation industry there was a little uncertain. But as I understand it, you moved to Ireland to take part in Boulder Media's project.
Yeah, that was a tough decision. I never moved outside of France before. And Ireland, it was a completely unknown territory for me. I never went to Ireland. I didn't know anything about Irish culture and anything except the songs and the Celtic thing, and they like to drink. that was all the things I knew about Ireland. And for My Little Pony, for this project, when I received the email from Pablo, our art director, that asked me if I wanted to get in their studio. And I'm sorry, my dog is behind me doing stuff. it's making some noise. But yeah, when I got the email first, and I asked, can I do it from home? It wasn't possible. So I had to choose. We sat down with my boyfriend and we discussed about it. And I was like, that's My Little Pony. I cannot not do that. I need to go, but I had to go alone and put on the break everything I had in France. I kept my apartment. I still have my boyfriend. I still have my dog and everything. But I was living alone in a complete different country for. At first, it was only 9 months. And it turned out like 3 years.
Oh, well, one, yeah. I salute. That is no small act of courage. And
that was very hard in the beginning. Like I was very homesick.
Well, I can also. We may be an online convention, but I can at least supply some applause. Yes, yes. This is representative of the genuine public.
I really did everything. I really focused on My Little Pony. Like for all these 3 years was, I'm doing this for the ponies. That was all. I was living for My Little Pony.
Well, we also have a message from Blue Roo, who says, I'm glad you moved here and that I got to work with you for a short time.
Yeah, Blue Roo is amazing. It's one of my colleagues and he's the nicest guy I ever met.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm curious that one, you got to work on this project, and egads, you were working on it 2017 to 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, that was the last year.
So that means for at least 2 years, you were having to hold in news about this from the fandom.
That was hard.
I believe I have your own artistic expression of how you were feeling at this time. I believe, yes, I do believe.
That was before the announcement, yeah.
So I guess the question follows almost immediately. How did you not explode?
It was very hard, like really, really, really hard. Like, you know, I went to conventions between those 2 years, and because of the leaks, everybody was talking about G5, and I had to like shut myself. You know, the most awkward moment was when I was in BronyCon 2019, and there was the My Little Pony anthology, and they were like doing memes about G5, and I was like, gosh, I should not laugh, but I'm laughing anyway. Like, it's very hard, and between those 2 years, I got people like asking me questions, but I couldn't reply to anything. Every time I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not talking about that. Don't do that. And, you know, it was the hardest thing because everybody was talking about it, but I couldn't talk about it. And I knew things that people didn't know. So everything that I could say would spill the beans. So I like, don't talk.
And that reminds me, I should clarify to our audience, it's under a non-disclosure agreement. We are not going to give away anything about what will happen. We can talk about what has come out, the art that's been produced, the character names, and maybe some traits. I could play a guessing game at certain facets. Though I'm reminded of when you were talking with Equestria Daily.
Yeah.
You mentioned you had earned an in-house position at an infamous studio as a character designer on a cool to-be-announced project. Knowing what that is now, I just think, oh, that's so frustratingly vague and wonderful.
Yeah, it was. I think I don't remember why, but I think it was Boulder Media who told us you can say you are working on a famous license, but you cannot say which one. It had to be like completely secret, but we were allowed to say, oh, we're working on an Hasbro license that is quite famous and it's gonna be announced soon. That was the only thing I could say, and that was like, since 2018, they let us put that on our social media page or our CV for getting jobs somewhere else. But that was the only thing I could say. But there was a lot of frustration in me because I was reading all the discussions, all of them. and when I was so frustrated, I couldn't say anything. I show the discussion to my colleague and say, hey, see, they're talking about that, and they have no clue that they're talking about this. And that was like, I was doing that to kill the frustration, actually. And I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. Yeah, that was also an EQD article in 2017 that I'm reminded right now. That was saying which pony fandom artist do you want to see for the new generation? If it was the case, and I was like, oh my god, do they know? I was so scared. I was like, gosh, they know what is. I was reading all the comments, and I think one guy mentioned me over like lots of comments, and I was like, oh shoot. I have no clue. But yeah, I think you noticed when the thing got announced, I was like crazy. I was liking all the fan arts on Twitter. And I instantly bought the plushie, like this one. I needed the first plushie. Since 2017, I thought to myself, the first thing I would do when it's announced is that I'm getting myself a plushie of my character. And I did.
Marvelous.
I'm just missing Izzy, so I need an Izzy plushie.
Oh, hint, hint, fans and plushie makers out there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Now, I'm curious if the work you did for the fandom, all this wonderful artwork, did that help catch Boulder Media's eye?
Yeah, it did actually. So I had an ArtStation page. ArtStation is like the online portfolio for professionals artists in the industry of games and animation. And so I was setting up my portfolio. It was like right after BronyCon 2019. I came back home and I did some pony artworks. And I was thinking internally, I was like, should I put My Little Pony stuff in my portfolio? Should I put them? Is it like, I was a bit scared of doing it, but in the end, I was like, it's okay. Like people know me for that, and I should use it as a weapon for myself. So I did put them these artworks, and I put the tag of My Little Pony on ArtStation, and so that's these two artworks that I did after BronyCon 2019 got me the job actually. And I learned a bit later that the 3D modeler, the 3D artist on the project that was like in the very early days was using these artworks as a reference for doing their models. And so I was like, oh, really? And then the 3D artist showed my stuff to the art director and asked maybe they could get me in the project. And that's how it started. They sent me an email and I say, yes, of course.
And then you took the plunge into Ireland.
Yeah.
So
took the plane from Paris to Dublin right away.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I understand. I know you said that it felt so far away, but you really advanced. I believe you started school at the 3D Edge in 2014, and in 2017 you were working with Boulder Media. I know that probably didn't feel like a fast jump, but it's exceptional progress.
Really?
I certainly think so. Is there any advice you'd give to young artists or people who are looking to try and break into the industry as well?
An advice, it's quite hard to give one because I'm still quite new in the industry. I think a lot of things that happened to me were out of luck. Like the My Little Pony project was a lot of luck for me. My advice would be don't be scared of what you're doing. I mean, I've put My Little Pony artworks in my portfolio because I was proud of these artworks and it helped me. And it shows that when you're passionate about something, someone will sorry, I'm searching for my words. You'll get attention to you, you see? If you show you are passionate, if you show that you like doing it, if you like doing art, and you show it, and even if you think the subject could be silly, like doing My Little Pony or doing little blobs, I don't know, like doing things that, you know, the industry is big enough that they need passionate artists for their projects. And there will be always somewhere for you, you see. There will be always a place for you somewhere in the industry. So I think the best is not to be too scared about what you do and be confident about what you're doing in art.
Passion is a connector.
Sorry?
I just think passion is a connector.
Yeah,
it draws people.
I'm very passionate. I'm a workaholic. So I'm very passionate about art, and I think it helped me a lot.
And I had the pleasure of checking out your ArtStation account. I wanted to share a piece that you worked on. It's not pony related, but it's another passion, wolves. So here we have Don't Try Eating It. I believe it's the name of the title, or Don't Eat It. And this really jumped out at me because I don't know these characters' names, but just from their expressions, their features, even the way the light is hitting them, I feel like I know their characters right away. I mean, I see. I mean, I see a wide-eyed enthusiast who is sort of swept away in the beauty. I can tell by the title that sometimes the beauty might be delicious, might not. And on the meanwhile, her friend or perhaps watcher he's in the light, but not really affected by it. He's turned away, and he's much more of a cynical, world weary. One character might get stung, one has been stung, and see, all that comes through in just this wonderful image.
Wow.
So I'd like to. How long do you recall how long you worked on this?
How long? Gosh, I don't recall. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours, something around that. Yeah.
You've put a lot of practice into speed painting, as I understand.
Yeah, I do a lot of speed painting. A lot of it. I mean, that was the most important thing they make you learn in concept art school, especially on my side, because when you work in the industry, you need to be fast. And so I love speed painting because I've been doing so much myself. Yeah, this one wasn't a speed painting. I took some work. I did more work on it than I would do on speed painting. But yeah.
Well, it's magnificent. And look, I got to tell you, I tried and I put like 15 hours or so into just one image. The idea of creating something like that in just like 4 hours is incredible.
Thank you. It's I think my belief is that each artist has his way of doing art, and myself, I draw fast, and I think that's not a good thing because sometimes I tend to rush stuff. I wish I took more time to do paintings and really work on each little details, but yeah, it's not a problem if you work more than 10 hours on a painting or a drawing. It shouldn't be. If you work in the industry, it could be because people want you to be like super fast. Like when I was on G5, I was like drawing 1 page per day. So in the total, I remember I had like over 1,000 drawings. And
wow.
they want you to have this how can I say that? They want you to have a page per day in the industry, or 1 page per 2 days. So you need to be fast. You need to be real fast. That's one thing about the industry that I don't really like, but that's how things are.
So another bit of advice for young hopefuls is practice speed painting.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Speed painting or drawing a bit faster, for sure.
Always good to know. And should mention, folks, if you want to see some of these speed paintings, Imalou's YouTube channel is up there and has both animations and speed paints.
Yeah.
Although I personally enjoyed the Fluttershy meme approved video.
Meme Thank you.
Approved.
I wanted to do the meme disapproved, but I was too busy. I was too busy with G5, so I didn't do it.
Now, I've talked around G5, but now it's time to dive into our new lead heroines and hero. But you worked on both Sunny Star Scout and Izzy Moonbow.
Yeah.
Which, just to make sure we're all on the same page, because I'm not always great with names myself, that is these two.
Yes.
Look at them.
Little babies. Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, when you were talking with the Course Daily, you mentioned that, let's see here, you were inspired by a character, their personality, their story, and their design that inspired you. That's how you chose your drawing subjects. What was it like then when you're making the character?
Ooh.
Was there a shift in perspective?
Can you be more precise in your question? I don't really understand.
There isn't yet an image of the character, as far as I'm aware, when you start.
Yeah.
So how do you try to envision that character in your head, or do you just throw out a bunch of sketches and see what looks good on paper?
It's both of it, actually. At first, with Celia Kaspar, my colleague, who was in charge of Pip and Zip, and Itch as well. With Celia, we had a call before working on these characters, and we gathered all the references we could. Like, we talk a lot on, like, we had just a brief description. It wasn't a real description. We had like really vague descriptions. So we did a lot of reference researching before, and we were thinking, oh, this character reminds me of this, and it could be this, and it could do that, or maybe it looks like this one character from this movie. Or I remember for each, I was like watching some aerobics video, and I was like, oh, it could be like he could love aerobics. I don't know, and I showed it to directors, and directors were laughing, like, and like you see, you gather a lot of ideas like that, and it's basically brainstorming. We brainstormed a lot before, and when we both were happy with our researches, we did sketches. Both of us, Celia and I, work on the 5 characters we have officially announced. We both worked on them, but me, I was more how can I say that? I was more comfortable with Sunny and Izzy, and Celia was more comfortable with Pip and Zip. Yeah, Pip and Zip and Itch. So what we did is we both work on each character, and we had like lots of sketches. We would like try to figure out like the expressions, their personality. And I remember I exaggerated a lot. I exaggerated a lot of the characters because at first they want all the variations. The directors want all the variations for a character. So I did that, and I was very inspired by listening to music. I was listening to a lot of fan songs of My Little Pony G4. Like I listened to a lot of G4 remixes, and it gave me like lots of inspiration. I work a lot with music, so especially I was listening to a lot of Join the Earth. I don't know if you know this artist, but
Join the Earth.
Yeah, Join the Earth. Huh. Very good artist, very good musician. I was listening to him, and a bit of Prince Whatever that was just before us. I was listening to a lot of music in general, and it gave me like inspiration for these characters. So yeah, at first lots of reference researching, and then lots of sketches, of personality sketches. And then the director says, oh, we prefer this, and we see a bit more of that. Oh, this is cool, and we want that. And then the more we do sketches, the more we get the characters. And sometimes our sketches can help the directors to figure out the character. So that's a lot of work.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
and just to have a view of all said characters of whom we are discussing. So let's see here, just to make sure we're all on the same page. From left to right on that top image, we have Zip, Hitch, Sunny, Izzy, and Pip.
Yeah.
So, and now as I understand it, you worked on Sunny and Izzy.
Mainly.
Celia Kaspar worked on Pip and Zip.
Yeah.
Who worked on Hitch?
Well, like I said at first, we both work on all the characters, and then we were assigned preferential characters. Each was a bit of both of us, but it became more of Celia's character. Yeah. The only character I think I didn't really touch was Zip, because Celia did a good job with Zip, so but I think that was the character I didn't touch that much. But yeah, I did some sketches, I remember, but it became Celia's baby.
Alrighty. Well then, let's get into the specifics, the real nitty gritty.
Ooh.
Purple eyes,
Ooh.
great eye color or greatest eye color?
Greatest. I love purple. I think you could notice there's a lot of purple in Sunny and Easy. Yeah, I like the color purple a lot. I don't know, it's been my favorite color since I'm a child, so I like to put it on my characters. Pinkish, purplish colors, I like them. Especially warm colors, I like them.
I get you. And I see Izzy is rocking the talented purple eyes.
Yeah.
And as I understand from G4, Pinkie Pie was your favorite pony. Is your favorite pony G4?
Still is, yeah.
Yes. And from what we've seen of Izzy, case in point, there was a video piece with Izzy just waving at the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. I don't have an animated video, but I can at least show this picture. I see a lot of Pinkie Pie's energy in Izzy. While you were playing Join the Earth and going through these iterations, did Pinkie, a little bit of Pinkie maybe carry forward into Izzy?
Yeah, a little bit. Izzy at first was, oh wait, I don't know if I can say that actually.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that because I don't know if it's gonna break my NDA, but I think the fact that I liked Pinkie, kind of helped figuring Izzy character. I wanted to make like a funny character that reminds me of Pinkie Pie, and I don't know, Izzy has this like very curly hair, big curly hair, and yeah, I don't know if I can say it, but if you interview me again in the future, maybe I can talk more about that. But since we don't have much animations, since we don't have much animations about Izzy, I prefer not to go further with question. But yeah, it had an effect.
I understand, but I do. But while we are talking about what has come out, you do realize you have a second unique spot in brony history, besides being a show designer.
Oh, really?
You inspired the first G5 meme, and that meme is the tennis ball. I don't have to explain anything. Everyone knows the tennis ball. I've been keeping an eye on the chat, you wonderful peeps. I see. I haven't seen this many tennis balls outside of Wimbledon. But things got exploded. And as I understand, you're not only a character designer, but you also design props.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Especially character props, mostly.
So would I be wrong in calling you the creator of Jan Tennis Ball?
Yeah, because it wasn't really my idea. It was the writer ideas. I just had to do the concept for the 3D artist. I had my part of it, but it was like so small. I prefer not to take the credit.
Oh, but you may not take the credit, but I might throw it at you. Everyone, behold it, for we have our tennis ball creator. She hath given unto us a meme.
I looked up the concept lately for this tennis ball, and I was laughing because I was like, gosh, it went too far. It went too far.
That's fandom in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's fandom in a nutshell. I was expecting it, actually. I was waiting for the G5 memes for so long.
But I also know you're not a fan of painting armor.
No,
and
not
I was wondering, did you have to work with the armor for these two Pegasus guards?
Actually, yeah. The thing is, the first armor design was made by a friend who I'm not gonna say her name because she preferred to stay anonymous. Mm-hmm. So she did the first concepts, and it was approved. And then a few months later, they came back to me and asked me to rework on it because she was doing 3D animation for the project and she wasn't the character designer anymore for the project. So I reworked on it a little bit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say in what way, but yeah, I did some work on it. I'm a bit sad because I really liked her design at first. The only thing I did was simplify it basically. But yeah.
It's funny that they say in writing the final product is the last version minus 10%.
Yeah,
That might be
that's
true of
really
art.
the case. That's the case for every project. Like at first you begin with big ideas, and then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and we get the final product. The concept arts are always very different from the final image, for sure.
Well, we've talked about Izzy. I'd like to switch gears to Sunny for just a little.
Yeah.
Because we do have at least some official statements on her character. Basically that, how should I say this? That she's a very optimistic pony, very proactive, but maybe a little naive.
Yeah.
Or unaware that she tends to suffer some misadventures. And this was Sunny's debut to the world.
Yeah.
First off, I'm curious if you designed her. Did you add those buttons and the emblem on her saddlebag?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Well, an excellent choice. I will thank you for including Fluttershy, my favorite pony, in the mix.
At first I included the main six, all of them, and then the directors made their choice. But yeah, I think there's Twilight and Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy. There was Pinkie Pie, but I think they left it. Oh, it was a bit sad, but it's all right.
I'm sure there'll be other opportunities.
Yeah.
But looking at Sunny's design, to express that optimism and that energy, what were some of the choices that you think really help express her character?
Design choices that express her character. I think the orange color is always associated with warmer colors. The fact that she is orange in comparison to Twilight Sparkle. Twilight Sparkle is purple because she's a magical pony, and purple is associated with magic. Sunny is a bit more down to earth, so she has more natural colors. And when I had to design her first, we had really no details about the characters, like barely details. We were like very, very, very free about their design. So, but I went with orange because it felt more like Sunny. Like when we moved in, when the time went on and we had more informations, orange was the preferred colors, because I've tried other colors and every time it was like the orange was picked the most for her character. She has still some purple in her because she's still a bit magical. You see, she has a naive and she's still the protagonist. So I thought that purple and orange is a good combination to show this personality, and it was accepted by the directors. So that's good.
I also see some red in her mane and in her hooves.
Yeah.
The shadow in the image may change that perspective a little, but well, what does red as a color convey about her?
She's not actually completely reddish. She's more like what's the name in English for that? But she's in between red and pink. Again, I think it's for showing a bit more of warm and welcoming character, because it's in her name. Her name is Sunny. She's the Sunny, the sun, warmer colors, red, yellow, orange, always comes to mind for a character for this name, that has this name. And then there's a lot of we try a lot of combinations at first. I think it was just accepted by the director that she was a bit reddish in her main. To me, at first, it was more pink, but in the end, it was like reddish. But yeah, to me, design choices for the colors well, I was focusing about to make her the most warmer and the most welcoming pony in some ways.
Both Sonia, who's helping with this panel, and Jay in the chat suggested, would magenta be a right descriptor for her mane?
So
or
what?
Sonia
Sorry.
points out maybe fuchsia.
Ah, fuchsia. Yeah. I think should be the name. Yeah, fuchsia.
Fuchsia. It's a funny name. It kind of sounds like someone was sneezing when they tried to name it.
Indeed. I like people thought that she has the lesbian flag colors.
Oh.
I saw that. It was funny. I was surprised. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't thought about that actually. I'm so sorry. But yeah, warm colors. I like to work with warm colors. So and it was accepted by Hasbro executives, and we have Sunny in the end.
Well, that speaks to the universal language of colors. We look to warmth, energy, inclusion, optimism. Why shouldn't that be expressed in a flag as well? So they're parallels, but they're moving towards the same idea.
Yeah, indeed.
So wonderful. And okay, so you've gone through and through revisions, collaborations, you've got 5 character designs lined up. But at that point, you have to pass the baton, as I understand, because there's a whole other departments that handle creating the 3D models and rigging. If there's like a chain, can you walk me through how we got from basic description to full 3D model?
Yeah, it's a very complicated chain. You have no idea. In this studio, and I think that's the correct number. Maybe Blue who is going to tell me, no, that's not the right number. But yeah, we were like more than 200 people working on them. 200 is a lot. So at first we have the pre-production. Pre-production is basically all this researching in characters, art style, visual development in general. So I was part of this side of the production as well as production, but that will come later. So at first we have description from the client, this case Hasbro. We have description, we have some ideas. We start designing them, and we are supervised by an art director. I had an art director supervising me and the animation director as well, because animation directors supervise our work to make sure that what we are doing is easy to animate. Because in 3D, especially in 3D, there's a lot of constraints. So both of these directors were helping me with that and making sure that we were doing good job and showing the stuff to Hasbro during meetings. We weren't part of the meetings. Usually it was the directors. So we do the character designs. On the side, there are the environment artists that are mostly working on the set design. And it's the same thing then for character design. They have their own director, and then they show their stuff to the director, and the director makes it approved by the executives. The executives come back with lots of notes. We have to take these notes and work on them, and the director fights with the executive to to make them accept, yes, we need that. No, we cannot do that. And then when all of this is settled, that could take like months. It could take months to do this. When all of this is settled, I remember the 3D artists were working right in the beginning just to get the art style right, and we were like doing some drawers on the the models at the beginning. So the 3D artists on their side are working on getting the pony rights, the models rights, not usually ponies, could be anything else. And directors, animation directors, supervises them. And there's this big pool of production managers that are there to manage all of this. It's very complicated. But I won't go too much in details. When we have the character designs approved, we move that to 3D models. 3D modelers model them and show their stuff to the directors, that shows the stuff to the executives, comes back with notes, and they rework, and then we have the final version. And then the rigging artist comes in. The rigging put the skeleton of a character, and after the rigging is done, the animation can start. But before animation can start, there is the work of the previous artist. Previous artist is layouting the characters on the scene. So it's basically, we have this scene, and we have those two characters. They are not rigged yet. They are models, just only model, and they move like this. They don't do animation. They just move like this on the scene, and that's pretty much it. But we know that this character will be on this place, and this one will be here, and so then the animators can animate them. And then comes the lighting department. Lighting department makes things beautiful, basically. They try to be close to concept arts and color keys. Color keys is a term for a painting of the scene. If we want the scene with the ponies being like in a light blue, the concept artist will paint it this way and show it to lighting, and lighting will follow this concept art. And then comes post-production. All of the things I talk were production. It was like, this is when this starts, and it ends when the lighting is done, the animation is done, everything is done. All we need is mixing, sound mixing, compositing, audio, voice actors work even before. And I forgot the storyboard artists. Gosh, the storyboard artists are very important, but they comes like very early on. They comes like way before animation. They even comes at the starting point. I think Disney works this way. They have storyboard artists who do the script as well. So yeah, when the composition is done, the mixing is done, the voice actors are done. We have a movie. Basically, we have a movie. And on the side, there is the marketing department. And I think I really skipped a lot of work. Like, I skipped a lot of rows in the movie. There's a lot more, but it's really complicated. Okay. But basically, we have the 2D department, 3D department, post-production department. That's it.
Yes. Okay, after hearing all that, pardon me while my head goes explode.
Sorry, I went too far.
Okay, I'm back. No, you wonderfully summed up basically just the sheer volume of work. And I know 200 people sounds like a lot, but given the work you described, I imagine there were times people felt overwhelmed. I mean, it's 200 people, but not all working on the same thing at once.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Oh, intense. So
it is intense.
I think you've given me a glimpse into everything that people do just to create a show.
You can see on the internet, there's a lot of graphics showing the full the full production of a movie. It explains the process better than me, and it's with little rabbits. If you search for CGI movie production chart, you can find it right away, and you have all the roles. You see, in animation, you can do like everything. You don't need to know to draw. You can just be a technical artist, for example, and that's really helpful.
Well, I'm afraid most of my knowledge thus far has come through the marketing department, who gave us these
It's a very
introductions and
important
all
side
these.
as well. It's a very important one, marketing.
Well, it gives us stuff to speculate on, and do fans love to speculate?
Oh yeah.
Though there's one other bit of model or design work I know you did for this, and I'm kind of curious. Let's see here, but I always need a good image as a descriptor. Come on, computer, work with me. Loading, loading, loading. Keep on files loading. Yes, I believe you didn't. You helped start with Pip, but this cell phone is your design, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you go about designing a hoof-held smartphone, and how much headache medicine did it require?
A lot of ibuprofen. No, actually, when I was given the task of a phone, right away I was like, a phone for pony, come on, but you know, it's a kid movie. So I wanted to not make just a simple phone. I really wanted to push forward the images. You know, in MLPG4, especially in the early seasons, what I like the most is that the characters are more horsey and shows more horsey stuff, like they grab stuff with their mouth, or they. I like that. I like that it stays down to earth. So I wanted to make a design that would be like used by a pony, not just a regular cell phone. So the ring hoof was the first thing that came to my mind. Like it was, you see, sometimes in cell phones, people have this little ring, so they can take it with their fingers. I wanted to do the same thing, but with for ponies. So they have this hoof ring. They put the hoof in it, and so they can keep the cell phone on the hoof in an easier way than just having a regular cell phone bag. I think if they were using a cell phone bag, the cell phone would be like falling on the ground. It was very hard. I remember I did a lot of concept pages for it. Yeah, but I learned the 3D artist. Had a lot of headache working on it as well. So I wasn't the only one.
Yes, I could see you also worked with the environment design, because the rays shooting off from the hoof ring match the rays in the background behind that tapestry.
Oh, I think no, I did not work on that, but I think it's a coincidence, or maybe the environment artists were inspired by that as well. Yeah. No, I don't know if I am allowed to say that. Sorry, but to say more about that. But I think it's in the environment artist mind. They maybe got inspired and did some bit of designs like on the background. Yeah.
Although I'm left wondering, and we'll discover when the movie comes out, what is the surface strength of those smartphones? I'm afraid if my phone falls, the screen will crack. What happens when a horse hoof taps it?
I don't know.
Error.
Yeah, maybe the phone has like lots of scratches on it because the hoof always goes too hard on it, and they have to walk to live with that. I don't know. It's the curse of being a pony. You know, in MLPG4 there is Coloratura who is playing piano with hooves, so everything is possible. Everything is possible. and your jacket reminds me of Pip's cell phone. It's the same thing, same texture.
That's right. I just like, pardon me while I flash the audience. Woo!
Yeah, you could.
I can do that.
You could do a Pip cosplay. Yeah, you could cosplay as her cell phone.
I could cosplay as Pip's cell phone. You are giving me ideas.
Yeah. Do it for
If I had a
BABSLab
beer,
next
I'd be looking very contemplative. I may end up getting held to that. I need to talk to friends. Can you make a giant cell phone for me?
But you keep the jacket. You keep the jacket.
Keep the jacket. Okay, yeah. Can do. Now, I will say we may have unintentionally started a debate though over Sunny's mane, because you say fuchsia, Blue Who says magenta. So, and gosh darn it, I want Vinyl's eye color 2.0. The debate, is it fuchsia or is it magenta? Folks in the chat, go forth, argue your case. I want to see the flack flying.
You know what is the new Vinyl eyes debate? It's the Pips eyes debate, because on the movie picture she has green eyes, and on the bed sheets she has like red eyes, and people don't know which color is her eyes actually.
Wait, you mean the bed sheets, that unofficial leak that?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I don't put too much faith in that. It was not a good introduction in my eyes.
No.
Your art and the final product that they put is so much better than that.
Yeah. I was a bit surprised it got leaked, and a few days before the announcement, gosh, the frustration. And I couldn't say anything. People were like, "Oh my God, those are the G5 ponies." I was like, I cannot say anything. You guys will find out in a few days.
I kind of see you hovering your hands. That's not what they look like.
Yeah. Was hard.
Oh, there's nothing like spoilers or leaks to just throw things wildly amok.
Yeah, but MLP has a good history with leaks.
Oh. Okay, Jay in the chat is actually posting swatches of color to try and settle this debate, as is Pixel Light. I didn't think I would really spark a debate, but gosh darned if I did.
Yes,
and I'm not sorry. Not sorry. Not sorry. But we're coming up. I've had the pleasure of asking these questions for an hour, and now I want people in the chat to have the chance. But before we dive into audience questions, is there anything you'd like to share about your experience in making this, or even just a funny story?
Yeah. You know, in the beginning, when I was starting in Boulder, I wanted to hide the fact that I was this huge... People knew I was a big fangirl, but I was like, should I keep it low and keep it professional? So the first days I was very anxious about it. I was like, I'm scared people find me weird because I'm a very big fan. And I think it was just a few days, but I instantly broke it, because when I got my first desk, I brought some pony figurines from home, and I was like, that's here. And I was putting all my pony figurines on my desk, and people were like, wow, she has like so much pony figures. They were like laughing so much. And I was like, oh gosh, I did too much. I shouldn't have bring my ponies, and should have keep it low. And I think it was like 2 weeks in. We had a break on a Friday afternoon, and you know, Irish people, they like to drink. So we were like, it's 3 p.m. Let's go to the bar. Let's go to the pub. And so I was like, okay. And all these guys from the pipeline department, it's basically technical computer stuff. They come down to the art department and were like, Leah, you have to tell us everything about the brony fandom. And I was like, bring it on. Let's go to the pub. Bring me a drink, and I will tell you everything. And so we bought each other's drinks, and I told them everything.
Oh, no, Imalou did a tell-all. Our secrets are exposed.
Yeah, and you know, the first weeks I was anxious about showing my powers and my pony powers, but basically for like all the moment I was in the studio, every time there was a new person coming in, the Ash Air department, which is a fantastic lady, I love her. Her name is Ali, and she's amazing. Every time she introduced me to the newcomers, she was like, and here's Leah, our pony girl. The pony girl, the girl who knows everything about My Little Pony. I was like, hello, that's me. I was like the pony encyclopedia at first. It was so funny. I was called the pony girl for all the time I was there. My profile picture was me at BronyCon with all my stuff, and I was showing all the pony stuff, and yeah, I was telling them everything about My Little Pony. And I remember at some point, I had a weird question, like, oh, do the fans really like these very small details in G4 that we basically never see? And I was like, I don't know. I tried my best to give a bit of my love of G4 for G5. You know, I did my best.
I would lean across to that person and say, does the word Twilocane mean anything to you? Probably not.
They had no clue. And they were like, why when we are searching My Little Pony, we find lots of SFM animations and it's so weird. And what is it? I was like, don't worry, guys, I got you covered.
My goodness. Well, I'd like to dive into some fan questions here. So from Narrator 007, when you first started watching French was Magic, were you listening to the English voice actors or the French dub? And which do you prefer?
I listened to the English version because I don't think the French version was out yet. It was very early. But I tried the French version, but I cannot. No, I am too used of the English version.
All right. So, well, I'm a fan of the English version, but I will say the last couple of seasons, I gained a new appreciation for Russian, Icelandic, I believe. Oh, we had links from all over, early airings. It was hard to keep track.
I like the Japanese. Sorry?
Oh, I was just wondering, did you hold off on the spoilers for the official airing, or did? But no, you like the Japanese theme.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to say that I like the Japanese dub because I'm a huge weeb. I'm a huge otaku. So I liked it. That's plus the only one I tried.
Plus, that opening theme is pretty darn energetic.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, it was hard to not get spoiled and everything. To reply to the question.
All right. I'm just gonna say in the chat, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's gonna haunt my nightmares. Thanks for that. It's the onion root with the guy's head superimposed on it. It's probably terrifying.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, you might want to think about this as you go to conventions, and I think you will be very welcome. Dr. Romulus is suggesting you pull an M.A. Larson and just sign things. Just drive-by signing.
I can sign and draw, but I have a limit. If you want to kill my hand, maybe. But yeah, I don't mind signing stuff. Give me the big Sharpie, like in BronyCon 2019, like M.A. Larson had this huge Sharpie.
Okay.
It was so funny.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll try to come as a giant cell phone. You bring a giant permanent marker, and we'll see if you can sign my cosplay.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pledge for 2022. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see here. Super Tune 8 can't answer that question because the trailers will come out when they come out. That's just the way of it.
Yeah.
It is the NDA. Let's see here. People. Well, I prompted a bunch of Twilocane gifts, as is my wont. It's a little scary how easily we can get this. Okay, Sigma Sonic X wonders, do you expect any of your coworkers to appear in conventions after the movie comes out?
You have no idea how much I told them, please come with me to conventions. Every time I was like, guys, you need to come to conventions. They are the best thing ever. You guys will be like so excited. And one of my colleagues were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring my my pony cosplay, my wings, my horn. I bought a horn in the convention for Ali, the HR department, and she liked it. Pablo had a Twilight wig at some point, so I think the Boulder Media could cosplay some My Little Pony characters for sure in conventions. But if they want to come with me, for sure, I want them to come because it's such an experience.
Is it though? They will. I think they find that they'd be very warmly welcomed.
You know, the director Rose Usha, one of the co-director. We talk a lot on Skype, and he was like, "Oh, I want to go to conventions," and I told him, "Please come." Like, he really wants to do conventions. So, guys, if you want to invite the directors, I think they would be a much better guest than me.
Well, that I don't know about. That I'm a little unsure. Let's see here. Just going through the Sweet Bloom, I see you in the chat. Good to see you as always. She's a bud of mine. Always swings by and supports. Much appreciated. Reborn Violet, which, hey, chooses the best eye color, right? Mm-hmm. Reborn Violet, what was it like when you first got into the fandom?
What was it like?
Did you feel nervous that people were going to judge you based on it?
Oh, no. I was an eccentric kid. During all my school years, I didn't hide my powers. I was like fully pony powered, bringing my pony stuff to school, and I didn't care at all. I would like go to Paris. I was young. My mother let me go to Paris meetups, but sorry, but yeah, I would go to meetups all the times in Paris and do brony stuff with much more older guys than me. But that was fun. No, it was the best years. 2011, 2012 were the golden years for me. I went to the first GalaCon. It was so much fun.
Well, I'm glad. Very glad. And do you recall who was one of the first pony artists you took note?
Yeah, I do. Oh gosh, he's a grimdark artist.
Hey, grimdark's a part of this fandom.
I'm gonna pronounce it very badly, but his name was Crooked Trees. He was doing the most popular grimdark digital art back then. Lots of scary ponies, but he was my favorite. Citra as well. Citra, I cannot pronounce his name. Why are you guys having so difficult names? Citra 360. I love these paintings. And Jean Joseko as well. Jean Joseko, I liked. Joseko.
Oh, Sonia's got our back. Citra is really just artist spelled backwards.
Okay.
No one. So TSITRA 360. Citra, just artist backwards. That I couldn't pronounce that. Again, I think I've established my skill of pronunciation.
Yeah, and later on, I love Assassin Monkey. He's a good friend, and I love his stuff. Big inspiration as well.
Yes, I'm a big fan of Assassin too, even though he tried to poison me at Winnie City.
Oh no.
he gave me super salty licorice. Oh. Like implode your face salty.
Gosh.
I don't. Between that and a drink called Malort, I don't know why everyone was trying to poison me at that convention.
The only thing he tried to do to me is putting straw waffles in my Quill door, in the hotels. He would put like his country's biscuit in it. It was like our breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Every day he would put one in conventions. I love this guy.
Wonderful. Let's see. Icy Justice would like to know, did they establish that this movie would be 3D from the get-go, or was that a later development?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, actually.
Okay, well then let's not leave things to chance. We will save that question for down the road.
Yeah.
at
Next
a
year,
real life
if you want.
convention. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We all just need to say to Boulder Media, send us your production people. We will welcome them and we will ask the questions.
Please come with me.
Let's see here. Discord's just updating the Digital Draw. Sorry, that question would be a spoiler for the movie, so not going to go that far. Now, narrator 007. Given that the movie is called Generations, did anyone make a Star Trek joke? The Next Generation.
In the fandom?
Well, maybe in the fandom, but I'm just wondering if anyone in production mentioned it when they were going over the title.
Honestly, I don't know. I discovered the title yesterday, so or is it today? I don't remember. I think it was this weekend they announced it, but I don't know if I did. Well, I think so. One of them did reference. But I've seen the fandom doing it. I'm not a Star Trek connoisseur, so I believe you.
All right. There's a question I've been alerted to, but I'm going to preface this. Are you at all a fan of shipping?
When I was a teen, I was shipping. Oh, I still do. I ship Pinkie with Rainbow Dash, but it's not canon, unfortunately.
Canon schmanon, you go with what you like. But if you could ship any of the and if this gets into NDA, just let me know. But if you could ship any of the new generation characters, any?
It falls in the NDA because I cannot say
which
one, but I did. We had lots of fun doing some jokes.
We'll come back.
Shipping.
We'll come back around to that when it's more.
And when I say we did, it's just personal, not for the movie.
Just a joke.
Like
it's
not for a joke.
Nothing official.
No official.
Nothing that reflects the actual movie. It's just fun. I'm a fan of the shipping. I don't care if it's canon or not.
And you have a right to be a fan of shipping. I think shipping is fun.
So, but being a shipper, I will remember to ask this at a later, more appropriate date. Also, I will give C2R, who's posting a rather fantastic Next Generation GIF. But yes, lots of ship. Okay, that's very little shipping. They're packing Sunny in a crate to Lauren Faust.
What? Sorry.
There's a fan art of putting Sunny in a shipping crate addressed to Lauren Faust.
Really?
So that's quite literal shipping.
It is.
Twinny in the chat. I just need to make sure we make this clear. No, there's nothing about shipping in the movie. We're not saying anything about the movie. It's just that for fun, people like to envision ships. That's all. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah. If it was, I wouldn't say. Because it breaks my NDA.
Also, I will. I also caution people when they say, "Oh, well, there's an NDA." There's an NDA that means you don't confirm or deny anything. You don't make a comment on it. It is not a denial or confirmation. It's just we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Jordan J, I do agree. Shipping is magic. And it does destroy sanity. I'm not complaining. Let's see here. Okay, how did you feel when you were seeing all these fan arts coming out of the characters you designed?
I was like,
I know you play.
Yeah, I was so happy. I cried because the first fan art was my friend's Donfire, amazing artist, and she did easy with a party hat. And I was like so happy. I cried. I was like, gosh, I was dreaming of this day since like I started working on it. I was like, gosh, people will make fan arts music, and I can't wait to see all of it. And I was daydreaming about that, and it happened. And I remember the first night I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. I was like reading everything. I was trying to save all the fan arts on my computer. I couldn't. I had to sleep at some point, but no, I was like so happy. no, there's no words I could could describe the feeling I had at that moment.
Let's see here. Oh, darn it, I lost my place. There was a question about Izzy Moonbo's last name. From Tata Kirk. We're getting back to the Star Trek again. Yeah. Is Izzy's last name inspired by John Kenz's music Moonbo? I don't even know if you'd know. Okay.
Because I had no what can I say that I had no power on the names. The names were they were chosen by the executives and the writers, and it was their job, and I don't know anything about that. But if you want to invite a G5 writer and ask them, or a G5 director, do it. He will reply to your question.
All right. Well, then again, see, I feel like we're building the case. Get as many people to a convention from Boulder Media as possible. Fans have questions they want to know.
Yeah.
In this case, I think I can speak for the fandom, saying, "Come join us. We want to ask you questions and talk with you."
I really wish they come. I hope so.
And let's see here. Just flip through. I mean, people are posting all manner of fan art and GIFs. So I congratulate you. You have sparked a creative fire in the fandom, without question.
Okay.
But let's see here. While this was going on, we had Pony Life as kind of actually, that reminds me of a question. No. I don't know if I didn't tackle. You mentioned that when you started watching Friendship is Magic, you still had the Generation 2 and 3 designs in your head as the default look. It was what you were used to. Did that at all, did you feel then as working on G5, was G4's design kind of rattling around as part of the process?
G4 only?
Yeah, I will say well, honestly, that's rather limited. If other designs got in there, sure.
Actually, I grew up with My Little Pony, so I grew up with G2 and G3. That's why I say when I first started G4, and I had this image of when I was a kid, I was playing Friendship Gardens a lot, which was a G2 games. Very cute game, actually. And yeah, you know, my art style really is close to G4, not very close, but I was very influenced by My Little Pony G4 in the way I draw. So yeah, in some ways I tried to be G4-ish, but you see that G5 is different because we needed something a bit different and a bit easier to animate in 3D, because G4 actually is not very comfortable for 3D modeling in general. It's very hard to animate to 3D model G4 characters. SFM animations and 3D models are good, you know.
Very.
But for a movie production, we needed to push it more. So yeah, of course, G4 was in my head for sure.
Well, was it? Well, there's a question from. All these gifts are shoving the question up to the screen. Joris J17 or Joris the Pony. Is it hard to make Izzy and Sunny? And I think the question there is, what were there frustrations with the design process? Were there? I'm betting it wasn't always just smooth sailing.
Yeah, there wasn't like a big frustration on the designs themselves, but it was just in my mind. You know, G4 was something. My Little Pony G4 was something very completely different. I love Lauren Fo's work. And in my head, I was like, we have to make characters that are as iconic as Lauren Fo's characters, which was the hardest thing for me, because I don't want to say that I am at the same level as Lauren Fo's. Lauren Fo's for me is way above me. She's much better artist, and she's she's amazing. The way she did My Little Pony G4 is amazing. And constantly I was thinking, are these characters as iconic? Are people going to like them? The pressure was on me. And I think it was on everybody that knew about G4 and that was working on it, it's hard because My Little Pony G4 put the level at a good good height, it was, we had to be at the same level. I know there's a lot of criticism on the characters designs for G5, and that was one thing I was fearing of, that people find the characters boring or not interesting and they don't like them. It was one of my frustration, because every time I was thinking, what would Lauren Foss do? I wanted to be as good as her.
Well, if I can offer some perspective, Friendship is Magic was under heavy criticism even before it aired.
Yeah.
I remember one rather bizarre article that was denouncing that Celestia had 2 guard ponies in front of her.
Was it the Cartoon Brew article?
Oh, you know the one.
Yeah. I remember that.
The show hadn't even started yet.
Yeah.
It was just animatic. So if I can offer some encouragement, I think every show gets anticipation or anxiety based comments.
I would have the same criticism if I wasn't working on it. I completely understand people on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the movie, the actual movie, and the more we see, the more I think people will acclimate to the new dynamic. This is also, G4 was a big shift, but there's more on the horizon. So more creativity to come.
Yeah, so I hope people will like it. And if they don't, it's okay. There's still G4. It still exists.
It still
exists. There. I'm not giving up on G4 for sure.
Oh, I'm glad, nor am I. But liking G4 doesn't require you to dislike anything else.
Right. Yeah.
That's the nice thing.
I started to like G5, G1 and G2 when I was watching My Little Pony G4. So, sorry, I cut you.
Let's see here. There was a question. From Patrick Rowberry. Is that a berry that makes you want to row? Power? What's your opinion on artists that are already making fan designs of G5 characters and other fan merchandise?
Yeah, I love it. I'm a big fan. I've seen people already doing fusions between characters, shade of this character and this one, and I like it. I'm enjoying everything so far. Even the memes, even the most offensive one, the most criticism one, I like them. It makes me laugh.
Oh, good. Good. Well, if we see as much energy as we have around Izzy and the tennis ball.
There was a game. Someone made a game about Izzy on tennis ball, and I played it and I showed to everybody in Bulgaria, and they loved it.
I tried that game. I only got like 2 or 3, but my friends were getting like stacking up there to heaven. I tell you.
Wow.
Oh, I see justice. This is just for personal, not anything on the movie.
Yeah.
What is an alt design you'd like to do for a pony, as in a goth or punk look?
Gosh. A goth, an alternative design? I think Zip. I think Zip or Sunny. Each would be fun. I still have this idea of each doing aerobics, 80s aerobics in other ones. I still have that in my head.
80s aerobic. Okay, I'd actually like to see that too. Just an 80s aerobic workout. Let's see here. Actually, I'm just trying to. Yeah, I showed the say hello. Oh yeah, I really didn't show off the say hello. So we will also say hello to Hitch at some point.
Yeah.
You'll be here.
The shadow
actually,
one.
that'd be funny if they're all in like 80s workout leotards or whatever, and Hitch is too. You're just like, oh, okay.
He would be like doing his workout.
Although I'm curious, look at all these characters, the eyebrows. I don't normally think of eyebrows, even though they were in G4 when needed. But they're more a permanent feature on these new characters, it seems.
Yeah. It's kind of a bit of my fault because I like eyebrows. Celia as well, she put a lot of eyebrows on designs. And it's an easier way to show expressions. At first we tried in the concepts without eyebrows, but it was hard to convey an expression, and it would be a bit uncanny in 3D, you know. Eyebrows are like very important in my opinion, and I love eyebrows. I love big eyebrows.
Indeed, I get you. Also, chat, I see you posting gifs of eyebrow raising ponies. Where's my Applejack gif? She had the best one, the original. Everyone else was just stealing off her. We've got about 3 minutes left. So we're in a lightning round. Okay, thank you, 8, 9, 10. There's my Applejack. But are there any last minute questions? Mid-perm, we're gonna have to do rapid fire on this. Are there any aspects you start when working on a character? What's the first thing you try to lay out?
Can you be more precise?
Sorry. You've been given a general description, maybe even a vague one of the character.
Yeah.
Your first couple pencil strokes, are they defining what you think might be a good character height or length or rate proportions?
I always start with the eyes. Always. Even when I draw for myself, I always start with the eyes. For me, the eyes is always the focus on the character. If I think the eyes are good and they are showing expression and they are showing a character, for me, it works in the design. Then after that, I think of the shape, the silhouette. I always try to have a good silhouette on my characters, a memorable one, because it's very important. On ponies, it's much harder to have silhouettes because in G4 they all have the same pattern, and so I worked a lot on the manes for the ponies. I wanted to make cool manes, manes that you could be reminded of. Sunny's mane, for example, is it's not very conventional. She has like some hair on the front, and all of her hair goes and makes like a braid. Yeah, so for ponies I work a lot on the mane, and actually for Sunny I used to have a long hair. I used to have long hair. I know I don't look like I could have long hair, but I used to, and I always had a braid and some hair on the front like that, and it really inspired me for Sunny. But yeah, when I start with the head, the eyes, the expressions, and the body silhouette. That's the first brush strokes I do on my characters.
Well, that's excellent. And a funny way, start talking about the beginning is a way to reach the end. We are out of time, but thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your creative process, your ponies. And thank you for sharing your talent with the whole world. There are people outside of this fandom who are going to enjoy the show you've worked on.
I hope they will be inspired as much as I was with G4.
And I want to thank everyone in the chat who hung out with us, who watched this. All the images you shared, it's the GIF that keeps on giving. And so I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Leah, it's 9 o'clock p.m. where you are. I hope you have an easygoing night.
It's actually 10 p.m. 11 p.m. soon.
10 p.m. We started at 9. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the old man and I'd say, go to bed, young lady. Don't make me come over there because the airfare is quite expensive.
You're not my dad. It's not the face.
Me.
Thank you. Bonsoir.
Good night and thank you, everyone.